Hello Math Olympians, and welcome to today's class on the order of operations. Throughout the rest of your math career, whether it be in high school or college, you're going to need to understand the order of operations and the rules. But before we get into those rules, let's go over a real-world example of something that may happen to you in your normal life on why it is important to follow the order of operations. You and 3 friends have decided to go to the movies. So there's 4 of you going to the movies, and the tickets cost $10. But they're running a special where if you buy the first ticket for $10, each additional ticket is $5 off. Now you may be able to do this in your head, great. But if you go to the register and the clerk performs the wrong order of operations, he puts in $10 4 times, and then takes $5 off, your bill is going to be $35. And let me show you what it should have been. So $10 is the price of the first ticket, plus $5 off the second ticket. And we're going to do that a couple more times because there's 4 friends. So we could just multiply that by 3 if we wanted to. And we have 10 plus $5 per ticket, and there's 3 more friends coming, and that is 10 plus $15 or $25 total. That's a big difference from the $35 that you could have been charged. So knowing the order of operations can be very important in your real life. Now let's get into some of the rules. Okay, Math Olympians, you may have seen a diagram like this before, PEMDS. It's an acronym for the rules of the order of operations, or you may have remembered it like the following. You can see that there's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's the most common acronym for the order of operations. You may even like to use Pink Elephants March, Dance and Sing, Pandas Eat More Doritos and Soda, or come up with your own. Now let's look at what these actually mean in terms of the order of operations. The P in PEMDAS stands for the grouping symbols parentheses. You may also see brackets as well, and occasionally you'll see squiggly lines in there. You always want to satisfy anything in the groupings of the parentheses or the brackets first before you move on to the E, and the E stands for exponents. And just as a quick review, exponents are notated as such. This simply equals 3 times 3. If that had been 3 to the third, you would have just multiplied 3 times 3 times 3. So once you've satisfied anything in the parentheses and then taken care of all the exponents, you'll move to the next row, which is multiplication and division, or division and multiplication. And that could be noted as 3 times 4, or it could be 12 divided by 3, or any combination thereof. And you're going to take care of all of those multiplication and division portions of the expression first before you get to the addition and subtraction. And that is how the order of operations work. Once you get to those lower 2 rows, you're going to proceed from left to right when solving the equation. So let's take a look at an example so you can understand exactly what this means. So let's take a look at these 2 expressions. They look exactly the same minus those parentheses there. Same numbers, same operations, 6 plus 3 times 5. But if we follow the order of operations, if we follow PEMDAS, here's what happens. On the left we get 6 plus 15, because we are told to do multiplication and division before we do addition. And then we go ahead and solve for our addition there, and we have an answer of 21. On the left, we know that we're supposed to look for parentheses first. So 6 plus 3 is in the grouping there in the parentheses. That turns into 9. 9 times 5 is the next order of operations, and that turns into 45. So you can see how different these 2 answers can be when you're following the correct order of operations. Let's take a look at another example. So here we have a longer expression, 15 plus 3 squared minus 6 times 5 minus 12. Whew. But if we take our time and go through each step, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. So the first one we notice is there's some parentheses there. So that group needs to be done first. 3 squared minus 6. 3 squared is an exponent. We know that trumps addition or subtraction. And we know 3 times 3 is 9. So 9 minus 6 gives us 3. So now we can rewrite this equation to say 15 plus 3 times 5 minus 12. Okay, so what's the next step? Well, we see there's an addition, multiplication, and subtraction. Multiplication and division trump addition and subtraction. So we're going to have 15 plus this 3 times 5, which is also 15, minus 12. So we've got rid of the parentheses, we've got rid of the exponents, we've got rid of the multiplication and division, and now we're left with addition and subtraction. And we know from the order of operations that we're simply going to go from left to right to solve this. So that gives us 15 plus 15, or 30, minus 12, which gives us an answer of 18. So not too difficult once you slow down and use the order of operations. Okay, Math Olympians, that's an overview of the order of operations. And just remember, as Crazy Pete says there in the middle of the screen, order matters.